progresses further, the composition progresses further from the subtlest in the first stanza, where the Brahman is mentioned as the Karta, Dharta and Harta. As it moves ahead, it moves more towards the grosser side. Now, after seeking protection in the stanzas that we just finished, it comes over to a declaration of how the Brahman is manifesting into the universe and creating this whole creation. Sarvam jagadidam tvato jayate, sarvam jagadidam tvat tishtati, sarvam jagadidam tvai layameshchati, sarvam jagadidam tvai pratyeti, tvam bhumirapo nalo nilo nabaha, tvam chatvari vakpadani. You see, a very beautiful paragraph is here. It says, Sarvam jagadidam tvato jayate. This entire jagat, this entire universe, manifested universe, is born to you. It is born to you. Sarvam jagadidam tvato jayate, sarvam jagadidam tvat tishtati. You are sustaining it, you are holding it, and you are maintaining it. You are holding it, you are maintaining it, you are sustaining it, and it is all functioning, and all the behind the screen, behind the entire scene, what power is functioning is yours. Sarvam jagadidam tvato jayate, sarvam jagadidam tvat tishtati, sarvam jagadidam tvai layameshchati. All of this will dissolve into you. Sarvam jagadidam tvai pratyeti. And all of this has to go back to you. All of this has to go back into you. A beautiful cycle of, it's just like Purnamadaha Purnam Purnat Purnamudachyate, just like that. You know, it is born to you, it is sustained by you, it dissolves into you, and it is all to come back into you. It is all to withdraw and come back into you. That's the nature of consciousness. Everything is projected, and then everything is withdrawn and goes back into itself. That's the nature of the Brahman, very beautifully explained. Further it says that Tvam bhumi rapo nalo nilo nabaha. You see that we mentioned about the tattvas in the first paragraph, and now it is the manifested elements as they are seen and felt, experienced by us. You are the earth, you are the apas, that is water, you are anal, that is fire, anil, that is wind, air, and you are the sky, nabaha, you are the sky, you are the ether. All of these five elements are manifested due to you. And you see the subtlest form was expressed in the first stanza, and now the gross reality as it manifests. I mean, it is a very beautiful thing to understand that when we see a water molecule, we know, science says that, okay, there are atoms of hydrogen and oxygen in it, but what brings it all together? And what happens after it is all come together is the molecule of water. So what we see is water, but what is behind this water is not only the atoms of these two different things, but also the power behind bringing these two together. So it's a very, very beautiful thing to analyze that there is a gross manifestation of something, and there is a subtler reason for why it is the way it is, and there is a causal reason. There is a causal reason for what has brought this all together and manifested it into the way it is. So all the five elements are mentioned over here. Tvam bhumi rapo nalo nilo nabaha, tvam chatvari vakpadani. The next sentence says tvam chatvari vakpadani. You see, we are talking. Vak is speech. We are talking, we speak, we hear sound everywhere. The sound itself is an amalgamation and a mixture of four different vibrations. There are four parts of the speech which are mentioned in our scriptures. There are four different levels, the four different vibratory levels, and four different sources of speech that come together as what you hear in someone's voice. There is a para, there is a paschanti, there is a madhyava, and then there is a vaikhari. All these four levels of speech are coming from four different centers, are coming from four different sources. And tvam chatvari vakpadani, you are behind bringing all these together. You see, the para comes from the lower levels, from below the solar plexus. The paschanti comes from above, near the heart. then the Madhyama comes somewhere here near the throat, and then the Vaikhari comes due to whatever organs of speech are working. So you are behind, the power behind all of these four coming together, resulting in the speech that we hear. Tvam Chatvari Va. The Rishi further says, Tvam Gunatrayatitaha, Tvam Avasthatrayatitaha, Tvam Dehatrayatitaha, Tvam Kalatrayatitaha. Such a beautiful combination of the Vedantic, information put together in this stanza, so concisely, so perfectly fitting. Tvam Gunatrayatitaha. They say that our philosophy, this seems to me like a combination of the Kapil Muni's Sankhya and the further Vedantic contributions coming from various Maharshis. So Tvam Gunatrayatitaha. We say that when consciousness is manifesting the universe, when Brahman is manifesting the universe, the first ingredient put into this entire universe were the three gunas. They are the three qualities, the three basic essential qualities with which everything else was put together. The dough of this universe was formed. These three gunas are therefore the fundamental and the foundation bricks of this entire creation. These three gunas, the sattva, the rajas and the tamas. Sattva is absolute purity and very close to godliness. Rajas is activity and passion, activity and productivity. And tamas is on the darker side, not thinking of the word dark being negative at all, but it goes towards, if you can say that sattva is creation, rajas is sustenance, and tamas is destruction. So these three gunas, we represent these three gunas. I personally, whenever my classes are happening, I always say this is white, this is red, and this is black. All the three essentials of this universe. There cannot be any manifested atom in the universe which does not have some combination of these gunas. We cannot be without the gunas. Now here it says, Tvam Gunatraya Titaha. Titaha is you're transcending. You are that which is behind the gunas. You're that which is behind the gunas. You're that which is beyond the gunas. That means the gunas are not applicable to the Brahman at all. Brahman creates this universe, and the universe is created with the fundamental mixing of these three gunas, and you, the Brahman, you, Ganesha, because now our conversation is going on with Ganesha, and through the Ganesha to the Nirgun Nirakar Brahman. So you are beyond the three gunas. Tvam Gunatrayatitaha, Tvam Avasthatrayatitaha. Avastha are the states of consciousness. The consciousness manifests itself in the world through these three states. There is a waking state. When I'm awake, the whole world is visible to me. It's tangible. Waking state, the gross, the subtle, and the deeper is tangible. You can feel. Then the second avastha, or the second state, is the dream state. It's like when you go to sleep, for quite some time you're into the dream state. In the dream state, there is only the subtle that is functioning. The gross almost goes to sleep. You see, so there's only thoughts, only the mind is working, only the subtle phenomenon is there, and the gross is kind of dormant. And then the third avastha we call a deep sleep state. When we sleep at night, you go for a few hours into deep sleep state, where even the subtle is sleeping. That means there is no awareness of the gross, there's no awareness of the subtle, and the body or the person or the individual is in a deep sleep state where this is also called a thought. Deep sleep is also not considered to be a thoughtless state. It is with thought. It is with thought, because the samskaras are working inside still, even in the deep sleep state. So Brahman is beyond these three states. He is not, the capability and the capacity of the Brahman is beyond the three states. Tvam Gunatrayatitaha, Tvam Avasthatrayatitaha, Tvam Dehatrayatitaha. You are beyond the three bodies. The three bodies, your gross body, your subtle body, and your causal body. In Hindi we say the Sthul Sharir, the Sukshma Sharir, and the Karan Sharir. You are beyond the three bodies. The attributes of the Brahman are again and again being reminded to you in the Upanishad. The Upanishad is teaching you again and again, again and again, again and again, the ineffable and the fathomless state of the Brahman. Tvam gunatrayatitah, tvam avasthatrayatitah, tvam dehatrayatitah, tvam kalatrayatitah. You are beyond the kala, beyond past, present and future. There is no timeline there. In the state of Brahman, in the place where Brahman is, in that presence, there is no timeline. It's beyond the past, present and future. Tvam gunatrayatitah, tvam avasthatrayatitah, tvam dehatrayatitah, tvam kalatrayatitah. Tvam mooladhara stitosi nityam. Now this is a very, very, very intense sentence. Tvam mooladhara stitosi nityam. Now this is addressed to Ganesha because this is the form that of consciousness that we are conversing through. It's the via media. So Ganesha, the vibratory level of Ganesha, the frequency of Ganesha is aligned with the frequency of the Mooladhara chakra. This is one aspect of the sentence, that Tvam Mooladhara Stitosi Nityam. You are always aligned with the Mooladhara chakra. There is a dormant, vital, profound energy source in the Mooladhara chakra that we call the Kundalini energy. The Tantrika side of the Ganesh Vidya talks about Ganesh being the lord of the Kundalini also. And whenever a yogi focuses on the Mooladhara and reads the Upanishad and then goes into dhyana, the Mooladhara energy activates the Kundalini over the sadhak's journey, through the sadhak's journey, and a beautiful creative force is released, beautiful creative force of energy is released that takes the sadhak to a state of enlightenment. Tvam mooladhara sthitosi nityam, tvam shakti trayatmakaha. Shakti trayatmakaha. You see the gifts of Shakti. We have different kinds of energy frequencies, prana frequencies in our body. These are all Shaktis. These are all different Shaktis. These Shaktis are Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti. The trinity of the feminine power, trinity of the feminine polarity within each one of us. They say that manifestation happens when all these three Shaktis enthrall each other and they correlate and they intermingle. Manifestation happens. What you will is taken up by the Kriya Shakti and the Jnana Shakti, and when they mingle, manifestation happens. So the Brahman is Tvam Shakti Trayatmakaha, is the creator of all these Shaktis, is the power behind all these three Shaktis. Tvam Shakti Trayatmakaha. Tvam Yogino Dhyayanti Nityam. A yogi who is studying this Ganesh Vidya, who is studying this Upanishad, he keeps his focus here. He keeps his focus here in the Mooladhara. This is a very nice hint that is given in the Upanishad for people who like to take up this as an upasana. Further, there are texts which are associated with this Upanishad that teach about pranayams, different kinds of pranayams that are related to this point of focus, which takes the yogi further into dhyana, further into a state of samadhi, and takes him towards liberation and enlightenment. So, Tvam Shakti Trayatmaka, Tvam Yogino Dhyayanti Nityam. Tvam Brahma, Tvam Vishnus, Tvam Rudras, Tvam Indras, Tvam Agnis, Tvam Vayus, Tvam Suryas, Tvam Chandramas, Tvam Brahma Bhur Bhuva Swaroma. Again a declaration which says, you are the Brahma, you are the Vishnu, and you are the Rudra, the trinity that maintains this universe according to this philosophy. You are Brahma, you are Vishnu, you are Rudra, Rudrastvam, Agnisvam, Vayustvam, Suryastvam, Chandramasvam, Brahma Bhur Bhuva Swaroma. It makes the stanza makes a declaration that you are all these powers in the universe. Brahma Bhur Bhuva Swaroma. You are the all-pervading, yet all-inclusive Brahman in this creation. You are all-pervading, yet all-inclusive Brahman in this entire creation. A very beautiful stanza that is very rhythmic, and as we chant it, when you say the ATHARVASHIRSHA regularly, when you chant it, you feel a surge of power. You know, the moment you chant this stanza, you feel a surge of power, because it completely sums up this. It feels as if you're summing up and gathering up all the powers of this universe into one, and that Brahman is something that you are actually talking to, you're actually speaking to. It's a very, very, very beautiful
The
stanza.
next khanda
Is the next stanza is the Ganesh Vidya Khanda, and it is considered to be a very important stanza in this Upanishad, because it gives the Ganesh Vidya, and it gives us the way the Ganesh Bij Akshar is constructed and the mantra is constructed. It says, Ganadim Purvam Ucharam Varnadim Tadanantaram Anuswara Parataraha Aradhendu Tulsitam Tarena Riddham एतत्व मनुस्व रूप गकार पूर्व रूप अकार मध्य रूप अनुस्वार शांत्य रूपम बिंदु उत्तर रूपम नाधा संधानम संहिता संधि संशय गणेश विद्या गणक ऋषि निश्रुत गायत्री छंद गणपतिर्देवता ओम गंग गणपतये नमः. So it's a long stanza, and the technical point is there in the first few lines. Ganaka Rishi, the gist of this verse is that Ganaka Rishi is the Rishi who has given us this initiation. The stanza is initiating the sadhak into the Ganesh Vidya. It's like an initiation process, you know, in this stanza. The moment when you keep reading it, you get initiated to the Ganesh Vidya. So Ganaka Rishi is the Rishi who has given this Vidya. And Nichruta Gayatri Chanda. Gayatri is the meter. Gayatri is it's a grammatical phrase. You know, most of the mantras are constructed in Gayatri meter. It's a kind of a technical grammatical phrase. Nichruta Gayatri Chanda. It's constructed in the Gayatri meter. And then the entire verse is explaining how the word Gang is originating. How the Ga and the Na are put together, infused with the Omkar as a Bindu, and then the word Gang is constructed. The word Gang is the seed Akshar, is the Bij Akshar for Ganesha, and that construction method is given in this verse. And in the end, a salutation to Ganesha is given, Om Ganganapate Namaha, describing the characteristics and the cosmic attributes of Lord Ganesha. The Atharva Rishi then says, Om Ekadantaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Dantihi Prachodayata. After the Ganesh Gayatri, the Rishi takes us to the Ganesh Roop Dhyanatmak Khanda. This is the last stanza in the Upanishad, and it is completely focused on the gross appearance of the Ganesha that the Rishi is advising us to put our focus on when we are doing the study of this Upanishad and when we are doing the Upasana of the Ganesha. A very beautiful description of the Ganesha is given here. It says, Ekadantam chaturhastam pashamakusha dharinam radam cha vardam hastair vibhranam mushakadhvajam raktam lambodaram shurpakarnakam raktavasasam raktagandhanu liptangan raktapushpaisu pujitam bhaktanu kampinam devam jagatkaranam achutam avibhutam cha shishtayadav prakrite purushat param evam dhyayati yo nityam sa yogi yoginam varaha Om Namo Vratapataye Namo Ganapataye Namaha Pramathapataye Namastestu Lambodharaya Ekadantaya Vignanashine Shivasutaya Shri Varadamurtaye Namo Namaha. It sums up the entire description of this beautiful idol of Ganesha as it is advised to keep your focus on. It talks about the way the hands are going and the way it is smeared with red sandalwood, and this is completely soaked in bhakti. This stanza, this khanda is completely soaked in bhakti. He's spoken about the entire Nirgun Nirakar attributes of the Brahman all through the Upanishad. And in the last stanza, the prostration and the surrender is happening with the focus of the figure of Ganesha as explained in this khanda. A very, very beautiful summing up of the entire knowledge. You know, we know that Brahma is all-pervading, all-inclusive and fathomless. Yet, these forms that we see around us are the reality for these eyes and for these senses and for this body. So, we bring our attention from the Brahman to this gross reality and seek protection from this deity that we are invoking through the upasana of this Upanishad. A beautiful summing up of the entire picture of Ganesha is given in this paragraph. This sums up the entire Upanishad, the main text of the Upanishad. After this, the Rishi has given us a Phalashruti. Phalashruti is, from the worldly parlance, different things that you can do to support your upasana, and also different ways of manifesting things and desires in your life, which is not the main intention of the upasana at all. The main intention of the upasana is Brahma Vidya, and to realize the Brahman within us, because that is the main goal of all the Upanishads, the study of all the Upanishads. Nevertheless, the Phalashruti, because it's a deity-oriented upasana, it's a upasana which is attached to the form of Ganesha. There is a Phalashruti that gives you detailed explanation about how one can do the different avartans to manifest or to experience different kind of changes in one's personality as well as in the worldly sector. About avartan, before we go on to the Phalashruti, I would like to again repeat about how this upasana needs to be done. One has to start with the Shanti mantras and then read the main text of the Upanishad, which we just finished, and then read the Phalashruti, and then read another set of Shanti mantras, and that finishes one complete narration. This is called one avartan. Suppose you want to do 2 avartans, then you begin with the Shanti mantras just once, repeat the main text of the Upanishad twice, then read the Phalashruti once, read the last Shanti mantras once. Suppose you want to do 5 avartan, you want to do a repetition of the ATHARVASHIRSHA into 5 avartans, then you will begin with 1 Shanti mantra in the beginning, read the main Upanishad text 5 times, read the Phalashruti once, and the end Shanti mantras once. So only the step 2, that is the main reading of the Upanishad, has to be repeated any number of times that you would like to do the avartan. The avartan is a very beautiful practice here in the Ganesh Upasana, which is recommended here in the Upanishad, because it raises energy levels. It raises energy levels, and it's an exercise of the willpower. It is enhances your sankalp shakti, and just the way we do anushtans in the mantra japa sadhana, in the same way avartans are done in ATHARVASHIRSHA, because it's a long Upanishad. So if somebody wants to do this for the spiritual growth, then regular avartans need to be taken or promised, and 11 avartans is something which is very reasonable, which even a working person can very comfortably take up. 21 avartans, 50 or 54, or otherwise 108. 108 avartans through the day would take about 2 hours or so. And then on special days, Sankashti Chaturthi, on special days, avartans have a special effect because they raise the vibratory levels, and there is a kind of a cosmic arrangement that brings about a different, absolutely different field of energy. So my advice is that one should pursue this sadhana like a twofold path. It should be like a twofold path. The recitation of the Upanishad and the entire ATHARVASHIRSHA should be one practice that should not be hindered with too much of intellectual quest. That is something one should train. You train yourself to read the Upanishad and go on repeating it quite mechanically every day. Of course, holding love and emotion in your heart. Take a sankalp and keep doing your avartans. And the second side of the path is the study of the Upanishad. So whenever you find time, and at that time, words from this Upanishad and the verses of the Upanishad be translated, you could do further Vedantic reading to understand the words, because they're all loaded with knowledge and wisdom. So the study part of it is one side, and the narration part of it is another side. These two things should be carried on separately at different times, not to interfere with your narration, and just do it with lot of shraddha, bhakti, lot of faith, and lot of dedication and commitment to the numbers that you have taken sankalp of. And the study part of it should be done any other time that you have a quest and you have an inquiry to do. At that time, that should be followed. In the next video, we would speak about the Phalashruti, which is very, very interesting, because everybody here is not pursuing Brahma Gyan. In the world out there, there are people who have so many unfulfilled desires, and they have, and I mean it in a positive sense, I don't mean it in a negative sense at all. There are so many unfulfilled desires, and so many goals, and so many aims, and so many ambitions, and so much that people like to attain and find their completion into worldly goals as well. So the Phalashruti talks about how you could use the ATHARVASHIRSHA to enhance your intellect and your whole energy system to pinpointedly pursue whatever you want to pursue in life. It's a very beautiful, again, an explanation of, how your spiritual practice changes and definitely will influence your worldly practice.